Hi, I'm Elise, and I help tech challenge makers create a profitable e-commerce brand in 6 strategic steps. Thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel, where you can find lessons for your e-commerce shop that take just 7 minutes or less. Today, we are going to be talking about ring lights. Today, we're going to be talking about 8 different ring lights and how the lighting varies on these 8 lights. If you'd like the spreadsheet of exactly which lights we're going to be demonstrating, you can go to the link below and get that, download that, and take a look and watch along with me as I go through the lights. So these 8 lights are from most expensive down to least expensive, and I'm going to be switching through the different types of lighting so you can see what they each have to offer. So right now we are on the neutral setting. In the camera, it's kind of hard to tell what the difference in the lights is, so I'm going to go through and tell you as we go through the lights. We're going to start at the least expensive. So this first light here actually has a slightly more orange tone than the rest of them, which is difficult to tell on the camera, I know, but it does. It also is slightly dimmer. This one is not as bright. Of all the ones that are shown here, I would say this one, and maybe this one are the brightest, aside from this big giant one that's the most expensive. So these 3, I think, have the brightest coloring here. They all are very similar in tone, with the exception of this one and this one. This one here only has 1 white setting. So for this neutral light setting, it actually looks significantly too blue. This one over here has a more orangey tone. That one has a more kind of yellowy orange tone. These other ones have very similar tonage for the neutral setting. So now I'm going to change them to the warm setting, and then I'll be back in just a moment so I can tell you what those look like. All right, so welcome back. Now we are on the warm setting for the lights. So if we go from cheapest to most expensive again, the warm setting on this one, again, it looks more yellowish. This one looks more orangish. These other 4 have very similar tonal qualities. And the brightest ones are definitely these 2, aside from our giant one. This one here, again, only has 1 light setting. This is clearly significantly more blue than the rest. For this big light, the big giant light, we have little snap-on filters. And so this one right here is the warm kind of tone. And it looks kind of more orangey than the rest of them do, but that is what we've got here with our big light. You can't actually change the lighting colors using a remote or anything. It's just those snap-on filters. All right, so now I'm going to change it to the cool setting, and I will be back in just a moment so you can see what those look like. All right, welcome back. Now we are going to be looking at the cool setting on the lights so that you can use these for your photo shots. Again, from cheapest to most expensive here. The tone of these is actually quite similar across the board. The only exception I would say is maybe this light here is still too blue, so you don't get a very good white on this light. The rest of them, the tone is actually quite similar. The biggest difference is how bright they are. So again, these 2 are the clear winners. This one is actually quite bright for this setting. And then of course this is actually the winner, but these are the best of the adjustable ones. The cool tone for this one is up here, and it is a similar color to the rest of these. So I would say this color down here is supposed to be the neutral on this light, but it doesn't quite match the neutral on the rest of them. So that is the cool setting. I do want to show you a few additional color settings that are available on some of these lights. So I'm going to change the colors over, and then I will demonstrate those in just a moment. All right, welcome back. So this is where we're going to talk about a few extra features that are available on some of these lights that are not available on the others. So these lower end lights do not have any extra features, these last 4. This one here, this tall one, has an extra feature that they call night mode. And basically that just, when you push the button, it takes it down and dims it significantly. It looks to me like maybe about half the lights turn off for this mode to make it darker to start with. And then you can still adjust the brightness and lowness of it once you do that. This light up here also has like a cross between neutral and warm. So it actually has 4 light settings instead of just the 3 we've been talking about. Now, why do we want those light settings? Because depending on your product and what props you have in the video with your product, you may need to make some adjustments. It's significantly easier to make those adjustments with your lighting than to have to do it after the fact in editing. Now you can do both, but by having these options with the lighting, it'll make your editing easier in the long run. So this one does have an additional kind of mix between the neutral and the warm, so it's actually got 4 settings as well. And then this one down here, the reason this one is even in the comparison is because it has these kind of interesting lighting options if you wanted to do something different with your brand. So I'm going to go through some of these colors. You can see you've got all these different colors that you can go through. And it can be an interesting way to get some interesting colors on your brand. And actually, you can't see some of these colors very well up there. You can see there's oranges and reds and blues and greens and everything here. All right. It also has this one, which it calls Flash, where it cycles through a bunch of different colors. And it has this one, which it calls Strobe. And this one, which it calls Fade. And this one, which it calls Smooth. So this one can be really interesting if you are looking for a specific kind of different type of photo shoot. So this is not necessarily for your basic photos, although if you are happy with this kind of blue tonal light, I suppose you could use it for your basic photos, but it has those interesting lighting effects that you can add to add some flavor to your photos. And then of course this giant one here is different because you have to take those filters on and off. So that is the different types of lighting that come with these particular ring lights. In my opinion, as far as lighting go, you're going to want to look at one of these 4 if you're looking for the best lighting. Now, if cost is a concern, these are of course the most expensive, so you may want to go down to one of these others as an option. That is completely up to you, but as far as the tones, the brightness, the colors, these 4 I think are the best for different options. Of course, this one is if you want some kind of special color. This one is if you need it to be the most bright, because that one is clearly the brightest light. And then these 2 have very bright lights, and they have the most true colors to what they're supposed to be as far as warm, cool, and neutral. So if you have any questions, definitely ask below. Let me know if you think I missed something on the lighting, or if you found this helpful, just give me a few tips about what it is you'd like me to talk about in the next video. The next couple of videos, I will be going over each ring light and letting you know about the pros and cons of them so that you can figure out what ring light is best for your e-commerce business. Again, my name is ELISE. I help tech challenge makers grow an e-commerce brand in 6 strategic steps. Be sure to sign up and subscribe for notifications so that you can be notified each time I go live and do a 7-minute lesson for your e-commerce shop. Have a great day, guys. I will see you next time.